I'll start. This is for either Ahmad or Darnell. You guys start off really good in the first half, at least the first couple quarters, 14-0 lead. Temple came back. Was there anything that they did differently the latter part of the second quarter that changed? And also, what did Coach Monken say to you guys as a team at halftime?
So in the beginning, I guess the beginning of the game, they lined up pretty much how we thought they would. And they got into some different formations on defense that we weren't expecting, and they just got us on a few plays, and they were able to play us well. And at halftime, Coach Monken just told us, we gotta execute and play harder. No matter how they line up, we gotta block them and maintain our blocks and do what we gotta do.
Okay, and this is for Kelvin and Jermaine. Was this the biggest catch of your football career? Was this the biggest pass of your football career?
Yes, sir. I'd have to say also yes.
Yeah, Ken Kreitzer, Sons of American Legion Radio. Kelvin, just take us through when you get out there on the field. You got not much time, and you got to get a couple of first downs to get the ball down in position to make that throw. Just take us through what that last drive was like.
Well, Coach preaches, no flinch mentality. So I kind of just looked at the O-line and everybody on offense, and we had a consensus that we could do this, we can make it happen, just make plays, and we trusted each other. So going into it, it was just no flinch, and going down the drive was just put the ball in the playmakers' hands. The O-line was giving me great time, and I was just trying to get the ball to the playmakers, let Jermaine get the ball, get it out of my hands as fast as possible.
And Jermaine, it looked like you looked inside, and then you turned to the outside to make the catch, and the ball was right there, and you held on. Just take us through what you saw when the ball started coming to you.
Really, we practiced it every week. We just knew that he was playing off and inside, so Kelvin knew he was going to throw to my back shoulder, which is why I opened up the way I did, and he threw it in the perfect spot, and I just made the play.
Okay. Maybe just ask James and Alex a little bit. What the challenge? Temple was really throwing the ball well. Their quarterback Noodle. What were the challenges on all those outside and then back into the inside passes?
Coming in, we knew they got a great receiving core. They got a quarterback and could sling it, so we knew that they were gonna definitely make some plays on the outside and a lot of passes. And so we were prepared for that, but. They beat us a few times, but eventually, we made up for it. So,
Alex, what were you thinking? Just trying to get pressure on their quarterback to try to get some tackles, a sack or a tackle for loss.
If you just let them sit back there, it'll turn into a game of 7-on-7, and we got to get pressure. So, there were a lot of three-step, getting the ball out of his hands quick, but just making him pull the ball down and scramble was kind of our goal.
Maybe just ask Darnell about you had obviously the 3 touchdown runs. Just take us through what was happening to get the holes from the offensive line that enabled you to make those runs.
Yeah, the O-line was executing really well, getting a great push. And definitely working on the second level and third level defenders. So once I get the ball and there's an open hole and they're covering everybody up, it makes my job easy.
Kelvin, John Scheidler, Spectrum News, right up here. Can you just kind of take me through your mindset on that final drive when you're basically a passing specialist when it comes to this team. You're between tackles and running the ball. When you got to come in, when the other team knows you're passing the ball, kind of what was working for you, and what's your mindset like getting onto the field?
Well, like you said, teams obviously know when they see 8 on the field, it's probably going to be a pass. So honestly, just having trust in the O-line to pick up whatever they throw at them. And they did a great job doing that on their last drive. It kind of, at times, defense can pin their ears back and kind of just blitz, but the O-line, they pick it up, they talk it out, and they do a great job with that. Having trust in everybody that was on the field and having trust in the coaches to get us in the right play and for, like I said, get the ball in the playmakers' hands. That was all I was thinking about the last drive, just having trust in each other.
And Ahmad, you guys obviously emotional after this win, celebrating, bowl eligible yet again. I know I saw some guys running into the core. Is that more of just the game and winning it how you want it, or being bowl eligible, or everything rolled up, or kind of what goes into that post-game celebration?
I think it's a combination of everything. Like you said, obviously you want to win every time you play, and a win at home is very special to us. It's one of our goals, and knowing that this win also, it being at home plus getting us to being bowl eligible. I think that was why we celebrated so much.
And Alex, just what does it say about how far you guys as players and how far Coach Munkins brought this program to become bowl eligible 2 years in a row?
I mean, that's what we've talked about since I've been here. I've seen the full transition from my freshman year, now being a senior. So, I mean, I've suffered the hard defeats with the team, but I mean, we followed the plan, and this is what we expected to happen. So, I mean, Coach Munkins just does a great job just pinning it in our heads that we should go out and expect to win.
Thank you.
James, what was it like singing the alma mater from the stands after the game?
I kind of got stuck in there. I didn't have much of a choice. Yeah, I didn't really get the hint that we were going back down, so I didn't get down there in time, and I didn't want to jump off right in the middle of the alma mater. So it was good though.
Alex or James, talk about Max's play there on third down to push them back or hold them to where they were there to force that field goal in overtime.
I mean, that was huge. I mean, he's an elusive guy. You saw that like throughout the entire game where one guy would have him what you think wrapped up, and then he'd break a tackle and gain those extra yards. So when Max just did what we preach, tackle like near foot up, exactly how we teach it. I mean, that's just so motivating just to see that.
How about for anybody, just this win? You've been a part of some special wins over the past few years. Not to rank this, but just a celebration after the game. I mean, was that great? Can't compare it maybe to the Army-Navy game, but what would you say about the celebration afterwards?
I mean, I think we've had in the past 2 years a bunch of games where they were really close, and sometimes a lot of people didn't know which end we were going to come out in, win or loss, and the biggest thing was everybody believed, and you don't know who in the stands is not believing, but now we knew everybody was believing. That was a big win for us.
Ahmad or anybody, what's it like to kind of win the game with a pass?
What's that like? It's a great feeling. It's definitely a great feeling. It's something we practice, and contrary to popular belief, it is something we practice and we work hard at. So to go out there and show it, we have great receivers. We have a O-line that can pass block, and we have the plays to make. It's a great feeling to show that.
I just want to ask the seniors, I mean, you showed tremendous poise and maturity, being able to play to the last play, make the big play at the crucial time at the end of the game. How did you develop this level of maturity and poise over your years here?
I mean, I think it's just game, and years of experience. You get your first time in college and you get a close game, you don't know whether to know if you're going to come out on the winning end or not, and we've been in that position a bunch of times. We knew that we just had to relax, and we were going to make plays and believe in each other.
Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with Ahmad. Obviously 2 years ago, we were in so many close games where we get one more stop and it's a different story. So just learning how to win. I think that's why we kind of implemented the fourth quarter at the end of practice. Just knowing every single play is a competition. And then in the end, you just kind of look up and see how you did.
Jermaine?
Yes, I'd have to agree with all. It started sophomore year, really. All the close games we played. I think we had 7 or 8 games where the score was closer than 7 points, I believe. And ever since then, we've really buckled down as a team, as a whole, and just been able to execute on the defensive side, been able to stop the offense like you saw today when we need it, and then on the offensive side, being able to drive the ball down the field.
Coach is going to start with an opening statement, then take questions.
Had them all the way. Ark Russell used to say that. He was the great legendary coach at Georgia Southern, and he just had a way of motivating people, and he used to say that all the time. So it's fun to say that. We really didn't have them the whole way. They kind of had us. And what a football game. I don't even know what to say. It's just incredible to see our guys battle like they did, and it's back and forth, and we had a chance to make some plays, and just starting with the first half, and I just think how proud I am of Kelvin and Kelvin Hopkins and the plays he made down the stretch, because we put him in there in the end of the first half, and we had a chance to throw the post corner route. Jermaine made a a really good play to get open, ran a good route, and we overthrew him, and I knew he was disappointed. Would probably gotten us in position to kick a field goal before halftime. And, I got in his shorts a little bit about it, but went at halftime, and I told him, I said, you're going to have to make a play again. You're going to have to go back in there. Let's when you got a chance, make a play. And he did. And really the whole team made plays when we needed to. And we had to kick the field goal in overtime and then have to go out and stop them. And just an incredible effort by our defense to stop them and make them kick the field goal. And then fortunately he didn't put it through there. It was a thrilling finish, and it's fun. It's fun to be a part of something like that, and I enjoy so much seeing our players celebrate together and just be able to enjoy that together, because there's been times here, and these seniors particularly, and they remember their freshman year and what a battle it was, their sophomore year. And I heard one of the guys mention just 2 years ago and the difficulties we had in those games. I think it was Ackerman saying it, just not coming out on top and finding a way. But we've been in some games like that. We've been in some really close finishes and had to battle our way through. And I think it's really just forged a mental toughness in this team that we were able to overcome some pretty bleak odds today, and that makes me proud. Makes me proud to be a part of this team.
Charles.
Coach, it's funny because you mentioned how proud you are of Kelvin and how he played, particularly at the end. The irony is that Ahmad played pretty well passing the ball today, at least the best I've seen him play since he's been here. What was your logic in having Kelvin in versus Ahmad going in that last drive?
Well, even at the end of the first half when we were going to throw the post corner route, Kelvin has got a really strong and accurate arm. I think the best of the guys we've got on our team, and it's kind of what he does. He spent the whole year on the scout team last year, and he's just throwing peas to those guys for an entire season, and really does a nice job with it. And so we felt like he gave us the best chance to put the ball on the money and deliver it quick. He's got a much quicker release than Ahmad does. And Ahmad, I know, was standing there. I said, I can make that throw. I said, I know you can, but we're going to give him a shot to do it. And then they overthrew him. And he's sitting there thinking, well, maybe should have let Ahmad throw that. But when we practice our 1 minute offense, which we do three times a week, I mean, we get in that situation pretty often so that if it ever comes up, that we've got a chance to execute. And Kelvin's our quarterback when we do that. He doesn't have the strongest arm in terms of throwing it the longest. I think Luke Langdon does, but in terms of just that situation, I think he gives us the best chance. And I just thought he did a great job. I thought the whole team did a great job. We protected. We made some catches. We had a drop. You could hang your lip and say, "Oh goodness!" And we had a sack. We overcame that. A penalty. But the guys just believed. They never flinched, and we just kept fighting. We had a chance to get one last play, and we hit it. And we talked them through it. Not in the timeout. We didn't have any timeouts, so fortunately they called timeout, and we could talk about it. And the play where we had hit Kell down the middle, he just kind of went past the first level defender and bent into the middle between the two safeties, and we hit him. And we had the same route call, and we talked to him. We said, "Hey, hit Kell again. If you don't see that there, then go to the boundary and back shoulder throw the X receiver out there." And he did, and it's a great play, great throw, and a great catch.
I was going to ask about Blake Wilson. He had the field goal in overtime and also the PAT. Just about his day today, he's been through a lot, and he made the big kick when it counted. He
did, and give credit to that whole group of specialists. Kyle O'Connor snapping the ball, Zach Potter placing the ball and kicking it through, because that's not an automatic. I mean, how many times you see sometimes it's a high snap or a low snap, and especially in that situation, just clutch, just just so proud of those guys. And the way we punted, we had 2 long punts that got us out of trouble. Great job by Nick. You know, there were some great things in special teams, and there was some things like the last kickoff where we let them return it back to the 40. And we talked about the bounce return and coming back to the field, and we just got blocked, and they went down and scored on the drive, and that started the drive. That was disappointing. But I thought the specialists, those guys, really did a nice job.
And Darnell Wolfo came back 3 touchdowns, and certainly that key 40-yard run in the third quarter made a big difference. How did he do, and how did the offensive line do opening holes today?
Well, there were times where we were kind of ramming our head into a wall. They were very good defensively, very stout inside, and running the fullback. It wasn't an automatic. I mean, we were getting 2 yards, 1 yard, and it was putting us in 2nd and 8, and 2nd and 9, and 2nd and 7, and that's tough because we like to get 4 yards and have to be 2nd and 6. You feel a lot better. But he just is such a tough kid. He's a hammerhead B-back, and you give him the ball, and he finds a way to get positive yards. And he had that really nice run. He had a couple down the stretch that were good runs for us. To set up the field goal in overtime, he had a couple nice runs there.
John, go ahead. Coach, have you been like this in your time here at Army with so many peaks and valleys? I mean, you think of that punt block, it seemed like it was a totally different game back then. It seems so long ago. Have you been like that through a game like this since you've been here?
That was a big play by Cole Christensen to get that block punt. It might have been the difference in the game. But no, I haven't been a part of a game like that. And it was just really thrilling. And to see the time up there, and you look up there and think, okay, we got to go all this way. We don't have much time. And we're going to have to execute what we practice. And we did. And it's fun. It's fun to see those things happen because it qualifies what we tell those guys and what we practice and the time that we spend on these things. I mean, we practice that 1-minute drill 2 or 3 times a week, and you rarely have to use it. But when you have to use it, you got to have a play. You got to have a play there. And we did. We made the plays when we needed to.
And I know going back to preseason camp, we talked, and I think I asked you, would you ever consider kind of spelling Kelvin and Ahmad? And at that point, it was so early, and Kelvin wasn't playing too much that you said, no, I don't think so. Obviously, that's changed throughout the season because we've seen him in there more in throwing situations. How much has he grown in these 6-7 weeks since the season started? And how much confidence do you guys have in him now?
He's really matured in this last year. And he spent a year at the prep school and then a year on the scout team last year. And when you're not the starting quarterback and you're on the scout team and you can kind of just throw it wherever you want it and you can try to knife it between 2 guys and hope to hit a receiver. And if you throw an interception, the defensive coaches are over there clapping so you don't get any trouble for it. And it's easy to kind of just, I don't know, not have your focus on our offense and being the quarterback. And we really challenged him this past spring that he needed to mature and he needed to prepare like he was going to be the starting quarterback. And he did. He won a lot of games as a high school quarterback. He was a tremendous player. Charlotte Independence High, and just he's grown up, and we do have a lot of faith in him in those situations. And Ahmad's our quarterback. He's a strong runner. He's a great leader, and Kelvin's not there. He's not at that level yet. I hope he will be at some point. I think he's got the potential to get there.
In the celebration after you guys going nuts, some players running into the core, how much is that just the emotions of an overtime win in this particular game? How much of that has to do with being bowl eligible for a second year in a row?
It was just this win, and none of that other stuff mattered at all. We wanted to win at home. We want to stay undefeated at home. That's a big deal to us and our team, and a source of pride for us to not lose at home. And they went over there and getting ready to sing the alma mater, and frankly, I told them, get up there in the stands. I mean, I was yelling to them to get in there. So, let's have fun and celebrate. I think we're winning's not easy, and I think sometimes people look from the outside and say, why can't you win? Why can't you just run this play? Why don't you just tackle him? Why can't you just call a blitz and sack him? Why can't you just line up and make that kick? It's not easy. It's not easy to win. They got a bunch of guys over there on scholarship. They're going to play in the NFL. It's a pretty good football team. Good players, well coached, tough to win. So when you win, it's a big deal. And I'm not in any hurry to go over there and sing the alma mater and just put it behind us. I want to celebrate and enjoy it as long as I can, because when I leave this building, it's in the rearview mirror, and I'm getting ready for the next one. So, we all should enjoy it. The core should enjoy it. Our players should enjoy it. That's a team effort. This entire institution banding together to get that victory. So it was a lot of fun to be able to celebrate.
And I know the biggest game of the year is the one that comes before the bowl game, but being bowl eligible for
the biggest game of the year is the next one we play.
Okay. Going on, I know being bowl eligible for the second year in a row, what does that mean to the program from how it was when you came here, how it is now, and how much of a testament is to that to the players and how hard they've worked over these 4 years?
I'm proud of our team. That's an accomplishment. I think everybody that plays football at this level sees getting into a bowl game as a measure of success. And I said that last year when we got bowl eligible. But our goal isn't to get into a bowl game. Our goal is to go to a bowl game and win it. So that didn't check any boxes. That didn't accomplish any goals for us. Our goal today was to stay undefeated at home. And that's what I'm happiest about, that we won the game today at home. We're 5-0 at home, was still that goal that we have out there for us to accomplish.
Hey, John. Coach, what did you see on that last kick that they missed?
The officials doing this. That was about it. We called timeout. He got a chance to kick the first one. I was thinking in my head after he kicked it and it went through. You hear announcers all the time. I'll be watching football after my kids go to bed at night. I'll get some good Barbie dolls and Legos in until then. But when you see that happen, they say, well, the coach calls timeout too late. He gives them a practice kick. And I'm thinking, well, he hit that one. I guess he knows where he needs to strike the ball. But sometimes, too, we were going after a block in the middle, and that guy had to see some black jerseys kind of falling over the top and in the gaps, and maybe in the back of his mind he thought, I better get this thing up and get it through there quick. And he's a human being, just like we all are, and he had kicked it really well all day long. And my wife said when she goes, that kid was putting him right through the middle the whole day. And he kicked that long 52-yarder and knocked it through, and they had the penalty and had to back it up and punt. He knocked that thing. That was good from 62, and it was into a slight wind. So I don't know. I'm sure glad it went wide left. We might still be out there. I don't know if I could take it.
Coach, when you came here, you wanted to build a tough team, and winning the last two back-to-back the way you guys have done it, are you guys there, this resilient, tough team that you want to see out there every week?
Yeah, I don't think it took the last 2 weeks for me to feel like we got a tough team. I've felt like we've had a tough team the last 3 years. I thought that year we went 2-10. I thought we had a tough football team, because when you're losing and you're coming within 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and then the next week you battle and you come between 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and the next week you're back again 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and you just keep battling back. You got a tough team. There's some toughness in those guys. We were young at that point, and last year we turned some of those close losses into victories, and I think all of that has contributed to the confidence that our team has to be able to win and to keep playing.
There's now an expectation to win here, even if it's 6 seconds left on the final play?
Yeah, I think our guys do. I think our guys believe that they're supposed to win, that they're going to win, and I do. There's nothing I ever compete in that I don't think I'm going to win or supposed to win.
And Coach, just want to talk about the defense for a moment. James Nautical, 13 tackles. You have that big third down, a tackle for loss in the third quarter. How do you feel like he and the linebacker core, again, are maturing?
James has really improved. He's tremendously from even the beginning of this year. He came in with very little experience. He was a special teams player, a third down guy, and he's found himself in a starting role in a different position than he's played since he's been here. This is the first year he's played inside linebacker. So we knew there'd be a learning curve, and he's probably a lot like Jeremy Timpf was when he was a sophomore. Jeremy got himself out of place sometimes and not in the right gap, and Jeremy was a good enough player that he'd run some things down even when he was in the wrong spot. James has done that some, but if you're going to be consistent about playing your position well, you got to fit it right, and he's done a better job with that as the season's gone along. I'm really proud of him. He's a tough, good football player.
And just your team made the plays down the stretch this game they needed to make, really at the last second, showed tremendous poise and maturity. Is that something you feel like is really been growing with this team?
I do, but we've got a more veteran football team. The guys that were in there on those plays, and I think of the guys that were making some catches, and you've got Jeffy Jeckham, who's a senior, Jermaine Adams, who's a senior, John Trainer, who's a senior, Jordan Asbury is a junior, Kel Walker's only a sophomore, but he's played a lot of football. All those B-backs, Holt and Woolfolk and Davidson are all juniors. You've got the offensive line and the veteran group that they are, Holland, Toth, Houghton, Kurz, Boylan. Those are the guys that are in there. You got a quarterback that's played a lot of football, and he says, hey, here's the guy, I'm going to turn over the reins to you. Well, Kelvin goes trotting in there, and he's got 10 other guys that have played a lot of football. He should have some confidence. So the right guys are in there, and I'm really proud of Rick Kurz. He had a torn plantar fascia, which is on the bottom of your foot, and his foot, the bottom of his foot was the color of this hat on Sunday last week, and it's probably a darker purple now, not quite that dark, but the job that our training staff did, Bob Daplin and Tim Kelly and the folks down there got him ready. He played the whole game. That's our 8th game in the same starting offensive line for 8 games. So pretty proud of him and the job he did.